Welcome back to the weekly news roundup. This is the SillyVille edition, everybody. Are you guys all ready for SillyVille? I know you are. These are recorded live Fridays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time if you want to catch the show live. First, we have an update. Last week, of course, we learned that the brand new iOS 14 had the first time ever you can switch your default application until you reboot the system. Then it just reverted back to the Mail app and Safari, things like that. Well, 14.01 was just released, and that has fixed the bug. So Apple did get it right. It took the update, and maybe to quote Jim Lovell, maybe, I think we've just had our glitch for this mission. Yeah, famous last words. But anyway, are we ready for this insanity, guys? Are we ready? I mean, this is a serious article. Take a couple of deep breaths. We are going to dive into the SillyVille. And I had so many SillyVille articles, I actually had to throw some out. So we are getting the best of the best of the best. First article. The flight to nowhere is sold out. So you booked a flight. It leaves. It does a little circle. And it lands right back in the same airport you took off from. People who miss flying are rushing to buy tickets for flights that land in the same place they depart from. An in-flight screen map of the recent flight to nowhere on Royal Brunei Airlines. Now, maybe this isn't too unusual. I mean, you guys have ever been on one of the train rides where you jump on the train, you do a nice train ride around the country, it loops around, you see some beautiful lakes, some beautiful mountains, some beautiful fields, maybe a city or two, and then you land right on back. I mean, really, how is this any different? You're just booking the flight, you're getting up there, you're just seeing a bunch of clouds from the air. And then you fly around, you get some really bad honey roasted peanuts, and then you'll land back at the same airport and you get to go home. You don't even have to pay for long-term parking. This, guys, is the business opportunities. So in August, Harif, is it Najri Harif, DJ at Crystal FM radio station in Brunei, set foot on an airport for the first time in 6 months. The experience, he said, was exhilarating. Sure, moving through the Brunei International Airport was different with masks, glass dividers, social distancing protocols in place, but nothing could beat the anticipation of getting on a plane again. His destination, nowhere. He is one of thousands of people in Brunei, Taiwan, Japan, and Australia who have started booking flights that start and end in the same place. Some airlines call these scenic flights. Others are more direct, calling them flights to nowhere. And what do we notice? He's not even wearing a mask. So they went through the airport, masked up, social distance in place, getting everything in place to sit on an airplane with a bunch of perfect strangers and nobody's wearing a mask. I present to you the insanity that is 2020, people. Like, sure, okay, well, this guy's wearing a mask, I see. Okay, no mask, no mask, no mask, no mask, no mask. No. Is anybody wearing a mask other than this guy front center? This guy that stood up. So it's like a restaurant. You can sit down and take off your mask when you're packed like sardines into the airplane. This is why, people, I'm not taking this crap seriously, all right? Anyway, Xbox One X sales skyrocket because people are buying the wrong console. Xbox One X is not the Xbox X Series X that's coming out. This is because Microsoft has always had a fundamental problem naming their products. They are incompetent baboons when it comes to naming their products. This is the company that has a software package called Outlook and an email application called Outlook. I mean, I can understand two completely different companies naming something the same thing. Okay? Two completely different companies. And there's examples of that in the world, and I can't think of any off the top of my head. But, well, you have the same company. I have a problem with Outlook. Outlook your email or Outlook your mail client? They did it with the Surface. The Surface, the first Surface, was an abominable nightmare because they had the Surface and the Surface RT. One of them is an ARM-based application that does nothing because it has this Windows Store and you can't install anything but the Windows Store. The other one was a full Windows PC. They're both called the Surface. Okay. What other examples did they have? Oh, when Windows 8 first came out, they had the Internet Explorer application and the Internet Explorer app, which were two completely different things. This is a common theme of Microsoft stupidity. They have no earthly idea how to name anything. And so they already have the Xbox One X, then they make the Xbox Series X. And the Xbox One X has sold out because people thought they were buying the new Series X. Let the buyer beware, apparently. But this is indeed a fundamental problem with Microsoft not knowing how to name their products. And they do this all the time. This is like a common thing for them. All right, well, if your internet is not working and it's consistently not working, make sure that nobody is running an ancient television in your neighborhood. Because an old TV set interfered with an entire village's DSL internet each day for 18 months. So engineers traced the interference with a spectrum analyzer. They're running around here trying to figure out why in the world. It's like the company's like, DSL's working. Everything seems to be fine. It just doesn't work. Well, it turns out that this resident came down every morning at 7 a.m. and turned on his TV. If you know anything about old retired people, they tend to turn on their TV and they turn them on really loud. Why nobody knew this guy didn't have a TV on is beyond me. Or maybe they just didn't realize it was such an ancient old thing. So there's something about this ancient old television that was interfering with the DSL signals. So they go through and they say, Amber Hosen mysteriously experienced outages each morning at 7 a.m. OpenReach, a BT subsidiary that provides internet service in the UK, replaced the old cables in the village in an attempt to stop the outages. Unfortunately, this didn't resolve the problem, so they began sleuthing for electromagnetic interference with the aid of a spectrum analyzer. According to an article in ISP Preview, so the article has a lengthy quote from the OpenReach engineer, Michael Jones, who said, quote, "Not being able to solve the fault for our customers left us feeling frustrated and downbeat, but we were determined to get to the bottom of it," end quote. He explains what happens next. Having exhausted all our avenues, we wanted to do one final test to see if the fault was being caused by a phenomenon known as shine, or single high-level impulse noise, where electrical interference is emitted from an appliance that can have an impact on broadband connectivity. Using a device called a spectrum analyzer, we walked up and down the village in the torrential rain at 6 a.m. to see if we could find any electronic noise to support our theory. And 7 a.m., like clockwork, it happened. Our device picked up a large burst of electrical interference in the village. Source of the electrical noise was traced to a property in the village. It turns out 7 a.m. every morning, the occupant would switch on their old TV, which would in turn knock out broadband for the entire village. As you can imagine, when we pointed this out to the resident, they were mortified that their old secondhand TV was the cause of an entire village's broadband internet. They immediately agreed to switch it off and not use it again. Nah, I fail to believe that. He's gone, "What do you mean? You and your finagled things. Shut up, I'm watching my shows." I hope that I hope that somebody in the village, the greatest news, if somebody in the village is watching this, because you can get internet now, I mean, please, you're inconveniencing this gentleman. He can't watch his TV anymore. Someone please go buy him a modern TV so he can come down and turn on his TV at 7 a.m. and not interfere with the internet. All right, really. So that was just glorious. I just thought that was such a glorious thing. All right, before we finish up the last couple of articles, if you want to help support the channel, we do have a new Subscribe Star page. We are still on Patreon and Think Life Media as well. Links for those are in the description, but we are also now on Subscribestar/switchedtolinux. If you want to come on over and support us over there, you can go ahead and find the link for that in the description below. All right, next, Microsoft Teams is getting fake coffee shops, break rooms, and custom layouts. Lots of new features for pandemic-era meetings. So here you go. You can, do they have the Roman Colosseums, I think? Let's flip through all these pictures here. So here's everyone on their conferences. You can kind of put them in these variety of different places. But then they're doing things like, do they have... They have pictures there. They had break rooms. They have coffee shops. You can go to a coffee shop. I guess you can hang out by the water cooler, make your plans to not see each other because no one's allowed to actually see each other. But you can go and talk about the latest, TV or whatever else. So yeah, Microsoft Teams, because we are apparently now a society of total infants, is now getting fake coffee shops, breakout rooms, and custom layouts because we can't actually take our work seriously, apparently. Is ready for our feature story today. This came out of UK, and this is called St. John Ambulance, and this is an organization that helps raise awareness and do. They basically want to help people understand how we need to navigate emergencies in COVID land, and so new strategies for CPR have been released. So you guys that are knowledgeable in CPR, you need to understand these are the new trips for doing CPR, particularly if you are in UK. First, what is CPR? It is cardiopulmonary resuscitation. Not anymore, it's just called CP. Okay, because they're leaving the pulmonary part out of it. Apparently, we don't need to breathe. As long as your heart is going, you're good. Let this sink in, people. This is why I'm not taking this stuff seriously, okay? We've updated our guidance due to the COOF. Do not perform rescue breaths on a casualty. Don't do it. If an adult is unresponsive and not breathing, normally you still need to call. In their case, it's 999-112. Here it's 911. For emergency help, and start CPR right away. For more information, check out the Resuscitation Council, which, by the way, we'll have to have a look at the Resuscitation Councils because that's a glorious thing there as well. All right, so number one, what to do. Number one, if you find somebody collapsed, you should first perform a primary survey. Do not place your face close to theirs. Now, if I remember, now, I did my CPR training about 20 years ago, so it's probably changed. We did the ABCs. Check your airway, check your breathing, check your circulation. Okay? Or was that cardio? There was C was something. Check your airway. Is there something lodged in his throat? Check his breathing. C, here, look at the chest. See if he's breathing. C, check if there's a pulse. Okay, good. If somebody's done, do it primary. Do not place your face close to theirs. If you establish from this that they are unresponsive and not breathing, you should ask a helper to call the emergency help. While you start CPR, ask the helper to find a defibrillator if available. Ask your partner to put the phone on speaker and hold it out towards you so they can maintain a 2-meter distance. Because somebody dying on the ground is very clearly a danger. Like, don't worry about the guy dying on the ground. I don't want to risk spreading the coof. Okay? You are on your own. If you are on your own, use the hands-free speaker on the phone so you can start CPR. No, it's CR. I said CP earlier. It's CR. No P anymore. No P anymore. Do not leave the casualty to look for the defib. Before you start CPR, use a towel or piece of clothing and lay it over the mouth and nose. Put an object over the mouth and the nose of the person who's not breathing. Start CPR, start CR. Kneel by the casualty and put the heel of your hand in the middle of their chest. Put your fingers together, it's like this, okay? Compressions. I have news for you people. You medical people who came up with this. There is 0 point in pumping the heart if there is not if there is not oxygen in the blood. Blood moving through your body doesn't do anything if there's not air. You have to breathe in them. There is no CPR without a breath. Do these morons not realize this? But yes, you do need to place a cloth over their face because clearly you don't want the coof. Continue CPR until emergency help arrives. The person starts showing signs of life. Wherever possible, the helper should keep distance 2 meters. finally put them in a recovery position, kind of on their side. Was this information helpful? No, it absolutely was not. Oh, wait. I need more information. Oh, man, they're not going to give me that. Anyway, let's go ahead and have a look at the Resuscitation Council statement. This was interesting. These are some of the updates for the COOF. Like first and foremost, you got to read all this kind of stuff, which is all like consult all of the guides. Wait, what? Guidance may change. Healthcare workers should consult recommendations of the World Health Organization and the Department of Health and the Social Care Health for information. So if somebody's collapsed down, I got to spend the time to look into all this stuff, apparently. If you're untrained or unable to do rescue breaths, give chest compression only, blah, 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 which doesn't actually do anything. Recognize cardiac arrest, looking for the absence. Oh, boy. No real new information there. I thought there was a lot more there. Maybe it looked bigger at 3:30 in the morning. But anyway, there you have it, guys. Somebody collapses. They need rescue breaths. Just let them die. You don't want to possibly get an infection that actually has like a 0.0. What are we at now? I think we're down to like a 0.02% fatality rate now, because somebody passed out needing rescue breaths is clearly not nearly as big as a health risk as potentially getting the COOF. Welcome to 2020, people. I have nothing else to say. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Thank you for watching this video from Switched to Linux. This channel would not be possible without the backing of the program supporters scrolling on the screen now. You can be a supporter at Patreon at patreon.com/TOMM or at thinklifemedia.com. I also want to thank the open source community who creates such excellent software that makes producing this show possible. Please remember to support your software communities. Thank you, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux.